thank you for tuning in to Davy Mobile Notary Services. Today, I will be talking to you about how you can start your own mobile notary business. No legal advice or anything like that, just a few tips on how to start your own mobile notary business based on my experience and how I started mine. So let's jump right into it. First thing first, you're going to need to get commissioned as a notary public. So you want to go to your county building or city county building, wherever you are, and apply to become a notary public. Once you have done that, when you go down there and fill out the application, they're going to tell you that you need error and omission insurance and a surety bond. So here is just a quick sample of what a surety bond looks like. And so you want to make sure you have that because that's very important. Error and omission insurance as well as the surety bond covers you, protects you, all of that jazz. Next, after you have your commission and they send you your blue commission card and everything, and you have your insurance, you need to get supplies. So you cannot perform notarial acts if you do not have your notary stamp. So order your stamp. My stamp was about $30. So very affordable, not too expensive. Pace yourself, If you have to save up to get your stamp after you get your commission and everything, that is perfectly fine. There's no rush. Do everything at your own pace. So get commission, get your E&O insurance and your bond, get your stamp so we can get to notarizing some stuff. Next, you want to make sure you have your Journal of Notarial Acts. So my journal is a little questionable looking because the outer cover kind of came off because I use it so much. But I'll show you a sample page of it. Journal of Notarial Acts. This is what the page looks like. And you're just filling out the signer's name. They sign. They write their phone number, address, the type of document it is, the date that it's notarized, the amount that you're charging for the notary. And they also have to identify themselves with proper identification. Unless you personally know the person, and you'll check the appropriate box for that. And if they're using their driver's license or whatever, you write their identification card number in the box appropriate for that, as well as the expiration date for it. Some states require you to do fingerprinting in your journal. So make sure you're doing everything to comply with your state's notary laws. Which brings me to my next point. So now you are commissioned, you have your E&O insurance and your bond, you have your stamp, your journal. You need to be familiar with your state's notary laws. So I printed out my state notary laws in notebook format on my printer. And so I have it, and I keep that in my notary bag along with my stamp and my journal and pens, of course. So that's other supplies you're going to need is pens because people are going to be signing. You're going to be signing as well. So make sure you have plenty of pens in your notary bag because I know I do. I have like 2 packs, and I opened the packs and put them in my bag. So that's very important. Along with supplies, you're going to want to get a printer if you're thinking about doing notary signings and stuff like that. You're going to need a printer, and make sure you're keeping up with paper, ink, etc. But this is just the basics. So assuming that you're going to start your mobile notary business doing just general notary work, like I did, then you're going to need your stamp, your journal. You may still need a printer, pens for sure, and familiarize yourself with your notary laws. Another thing that I have in my notary bag is a mask because of the coronavirus pandemic. We need to be safe. And although lots of people are getting vaccinated and things like that, and we're more educated on this pandemic and the virus, I still like to be safe. And some people, when they have you come to their homes to do a notary, they still prefer people entering their homes to wear a mask. So you don't want to offend anyone by going in there maskless. So protect yourself and your clients by wearing a mask. And I got my logo printed on my mask. And I always wear my shirt when I go, so that way they know I'm the notary. I'm not just someone coming in. I'm not a scammer. And I'm the person that they spoke with on the phone, which brings me to my next point. You want to get a business phone line separate from your personal one. So that way you're not answering your phone like, hey girl, how are you? Because the phone number looks similar to someone in your personal contacts. You should never have that problem if you have a separate phone line, because you know that when this phone line rings, assuming that you set up different ringtones for your different phone lines, like I did, then you know this is a notary call. I need to answer the phone professionally. Hello, this is Davy Mobile Notary Services. How can I help you today? And then if my other phone line rings, then I can say, hey girl, what you doing? Are we hanging out this weekend? You don't want to mix the two up. You don't want to mix personal and professional. You just want to keep everything separate so that way there's no room for error. So aside from a separate phone line, you might want to get yourself a separate email address as well for the same reasons. You don't want your business inquiries coming in from your website or your email address to get mixed up and lost in your personal emails. Because I know that I have a lot of promotion and spam coming in my personal emails, and it's easy for something to get lost in my personal emails. So I keep my business emails separate. So that way, if I see a notification that's coming through my business email, I know, okay, let me answer this. But if it's personal, I usually just swipe it and keep going, because I don't pay attention to my personal emails because there's nothing coming in other than spam. So you want to keep things separately. So a business phone line, a business email address, and then another big one would be getting a Google business account, because people are always Googling anything they're trying to find out this day and age. So people are going to be Googling notary near me, and then you'll pop up because you have a Google business account. It's super quick, it's super easy, and it's free. Just like the phone line, if you don't want to shell out a bunch of money for a separate phone, then you can just get a Google Voice number. And that's also free, easy, and quick to do. You just register the phone line through your Google email account, and you can do it through your Google business email account. So, assuming you set up your business email account through Google, now you have a business Gmail, and you set up your Google Voice, and you can set up your Google business account under all of that being under your business Gmail email account. So those are just different things to be able to be reachable by potential clients and customers that are trying to reach you for notary services. Something else that you can do to put yourself out there is set up a separate social media page. So most of us have social media pages already for our personal use. But for the same reasons as having a separate phone line and email address, you also want to have a separate business social media page. So I personally use Facebook. I know a lot of people are using Instagram for their businesses as well, but I can only speak on the Facebook side of things because that's the only social media that I have. So I have a personal Facebook, and then I have a business Facebook for Davy Mobile Notary, and that's all I post on that page is notary related things and promotions and different discounts and things that I'm running for the month or for different holidays, etc. So you want to do that because people also look on social media to find different businesses and services. So if you're trying to put yourself out there and get noticed, recognized, and known by your community and surrounding communities to bring in the business, then I highly recommend that you set up that phone line, that separate business email account, that Google business for sure, and your business Facebook account. Now, aside from those things, I would recommend that you make yourself a profile on SnapDocs. It's easy as well. Something else would be a few more things. Have some marketing tools such as business cards, flyers. I made some new flyers. This was my original flyer though, so I'm just showing this one because we're talking about starting the business. So this is my first original flyer, and I saved it just because I like to see how things are, progressing and things like that. But you want to make sure that you have legible fonts and sizes. So I personally feel like this is too small. So this is a perfect example of making sure you are designing your things to be legible for your clients and people that are potential clients that may see them out at the grocery store, different things like that. Speaking of flyers, I personally am a military veteran, so I like to take flyers to local AMVETs, American Legions, VFWs, and places that I know that veterans are going to be, VA hospitals, just regular hospitals in general, because senior citizens also need notaries and things like that, and they may not be well enough, mobile enough to get out and go to an office or to their local bank to get things notarized. So a lot of times their children or grandchildren or them themselves may call and see if you can come to their home and notarize things for them. So I like to pass them out to nursing homes as well as hospitals, local clinics and things like that. I know my dentist told me that she's okay with me leaving my notary magnets out on the counters. So I use magnets for my business cards instead of the traditional business cards, because I know a lot of people in different industries, they'll get a business card, but then they may sit it to the side and they won't remember. So I make the magnets because people always put magnets on the refrigerator at work or at home, different things like that. And I've seen my magnets in different places that I've never even been to before, but maybe one of my clients passed it on or something like that. So I am actually seeing that the magnets are making a difference. And people have called me to make appointments and have told me, oh, I saw your magnet at the salon or different things like that. I actually went to go get service at a salon or whatever, and I saw my magnet on their fridge. And I was like, I've never been here before. How did that get here? Because I don't know anyone that works here. And then she told me that one of her clients brought it in and gave it to her. So that was pretty cool. And then she called me the next week to notarize something for her. And, word of mouth spreads. So marketing tools definitely helps. Networking and word of mouth also helps. Getting your name out there with different places in the community. Like I said, I like to give my magnets and my flyers to AMVETs, VFWs, American Legions, nursing homes, schools, things like that. And then I also have a hat. We all have days where we just want to put a hat on. I feel like I've only worn this one time, but I have a hat. I have the shirt, so that's also a marketing tool. I wore this, and one day I was in Kroger, and this lady, she doesn't live far from me. She lives about 10 minutes away, and she has had me come to her house twice. Well, actually, one day she came. She stopped in. She didn't have an appointment, but she saw my notary sign outside on my window. She knocked on the door and said, hey, I saw your sign outside, and I've been trying to find a notary to notarize something for me. And I said, well, come on in, because I wasn't busy. So I invited her in. Thank goodness I just cleared my dining room table and everything. And so it was nice and presentable for her to come on in. And I notarized something for her. And a couple weeks down the line, she asked me to come to her house and notarize something for her. Fast forward to a month down the line, I'm at Kroger's getting some fruits and veggies and stuff like that. And she's in her basket, she's pushing her basket. And she walks past, and I had my mask on. My face was covered, so she didn't recognize my face for sure. But I had my mask on with a jacket, so she didn't see the shirt, she didn't see my face, but she saw the logo on the mask. And she was like, hey, you're the notary. And I was like, hi, nice to see you again. And, we stopped and we talked for a quick 5 minutes. And it was a great conversation. We actually found out we had a lot in common. And I'm sure that if she needs anything else notarized or anyone in her family needs anything notarized, they're going to call me. Because at this point, we have personal rapport. And she recognizes the logo when she's out. So that brings me to my next point, actually. So marketing, networking, definitely a good thing to do, advertising. But my next point is get a logo, because people are going to recognize a logo more so than your name. They're not going to remember your name. Most people don't remember that my name is Tamara. And if they do, they're going to say Tamara, Tamara, Tamira. They're not going to remember my name, your name, anyone's name. They're going to remember that you're the notary that came to my house. You showed up on time. You were nice. You gave me a free pen, or you gave me a magnet, you know? And they're going to remember the image, the logo. So I think that having a logo and a phone line for people to call you and reach you is very important. That social media page, because a lot of times people say, you know how you can, on Facebook anyway, I can only speak for Facebook because that's the only social media platform that I use. But I know a lot of people that they'll like put up recommendations or questions, and they'll say, does anyone know a mobile notary? And then someone will tag me. And that's how I get a lot of business, is social media. And then what I'll do is I'll inbox that person a link to my business Facebook page where they can book an appointment. And then they'll go on there, they'll book an appointment. I get the notification. I'm like, oh, I got a notary client in 2 hours. Well, let me get ready. Let me get my bag together. So those are a few tips that I have for starting a successful mobile notary business. Speaking of me getting my bag together, I'm going to show you what's in my notary bag. So here's my little notary bag. It's a drawstring book bag. And in my notary bag, I have my state's notary laws, my flyer, as well as my journal of notarial acts and lots of pens, my mask, my hat, just in case I'm not wearing the shirt and I want them to know who I am and I'm wearing a coat, because it's getting kind of cold. It's a little chilly here in the D. And most importantly, my stamp, because you cannot notarize anything without your notary stamp. So that's what's in my notary bag. That's how I started my mobile notary business. I wish you all the success out here in the notary world. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I do have a notary business mentoring program. And if you follow me on Facebook, I'm under Davy Mobile Notary Services on there. And you can sign up for a free 15-minute mentorship business startup call. And yeah, put those questions down in the comment box. Give me a call through the mentorship. Like and follow me on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.